All right, guys, we'll get started here.
Okay. All right. Sorry for the delay there. We'll just kind of dive right into it. I'm sure there's a lot of questions and stuff, but obviously, important for a week for us coming up here, the bye week, to really do a great job of kind of taking a look at us and evaluating what we're doing right now. Obviously, we've got 4 games under our belt here to take a look at with some film and game film and ways that we got to try to get better, obviously, to, give ourselves a better chance to go out each week and win. So that's what we got to get done here this week. So let me go ahead.
All right, Stoney.
Matt, you guys, as you know, ranked 3rd in the league. 3rd worst is giving up rushing yards per game over 170. What do you have to do to actually change that? It looks like from afar, I don't know all the X's and O's, that you guys are getting either blown off the ball, guys are not not shedding blocks. It's like, it almost looks like you're being physically manhandled at the line of scrimmage. Is that effort? Is that scheme? What can be done? Because that's got to be embarrassing to you, especially because that's your specialty.
Yeah. I think obviously the consistency would be the number one thing for us from that standpoint, because I think that to your point, there are those plays that you see on tape that are not good. Those things are happening where we're getting knocked off the ball, or our pad level's too high, or hand placement's not good enough. And those are all the things that we have to improve on to make it consistent, from that standpoint. And certainly, when we get into those games, to just do a great job of, playing every single play and right from the start of the game at a high level in the run game to make sure that doesn't get going in a bad direction and takes too long to kind of settle it down and get it stopped. So certainly, coaching and playing, it's all got to be better and just more consistent from that standpoint all the way across the board.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Afternoon, Matt. Appreciate your time. We just talked to Duran, and he was saying that he's kind of pissed off about the player efforts on defense, especially some missed assignments and guys just not executing. What have you seen in that regard, and how has that contributed to the problems we've seen on defense?
I definitely think that there's situations on tape that we know we gotta be better all the way across the board. And certainly when you talk defensive football, pursuit, hustle, tackling, those are kind of the fundamentals that you have to have at a high level. And, I would say that, probably some of that is not, consistent enough. We have good spurts of it where it's really great, and, other plays where it's not so good. So I'm sure that's a frustrating aspect of it. Certainly from my perspective, we've just got to find different ways to coach it better or keep teaching these guys just more consistency with it so that we can go out and perform better on the field. You obviously can feel and love everything about Duran Harmon and his passion and, his leadership and what this game means to him. And, I love that. And that's what, makes me try to go in and work as hard as I can every single day to, do everything I can to try to help these guys win, and that's why we work so hard. That's why we, try to do everything we can to help those guys.
You have the bye this week. How do you intend to spend your time as you go over the body from the first quarter of the season and try to plot how to get this thing turned around going forward?
Yeah, it's a critical week for us. The bye week every single year is a great week to really do a good self-scout and take a look at things that you're doing well, things that you're not doing well. And obviously we have some tape now, so we can get some game tape that we have that we can put things on and, evaluate it. And do we like, some of the things that we're seeing, or what do we need to change? Or, sometimes it's maybe a little bit less. Sometimes we just got to kind of narrow down on the focus and just try to do some things really well instead of maybe too many things at one time. So it's a great week for us. It's got to be a big growth week for us from that standpoint.
And just one more question real quick from me. Some of your former players, some former Lions players, Dan Orlovsky notably, they picked up on your comments from yesterday about how you said you had a lot of work to do when you took over this team back in 2018. I just wanted to give you a chance to explain more thoroughly maybe what you meant, or offer some kind of defense for what you were trying to say there.
I'd probably say we got a lot of work to do. I probably say that every day, right? I'm pretty sure that's kind of just my general outlook on work. There's always a lot to do, and there's always a lot to be done. Right now it's all about this team. It's about us. It's about going forward. It's about what do we do this week? What do we do next week? When we get to Jacksonville, and just how do we get better? So, I always just feel that there's a lot of work to do. And I think that's kind of just my internal drive every day to try to be the best coach, best whatever it is that day. Like, let's go to work and let's do a lot and try to be the best at it that we can every single day.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Michael?
Matt, thanks for doing this. Good afternoon. What is your level of surprise at this point at where you're at 36 games into your tenure?
I mean, honestly, it's just about this moment right now where we are this week with this team. I think anything other than that is just for us, loses focus on right now. Right now, we just need to focus on trying to be a better team and try to improve this week. Learn from yesterday's game. That's a big part of today. Really trying to get some things corrected on tape that hurt us kind of in the middle of the game there, that we didn't get settled till late. And certainly, how can we be more consistent as a better team? So, that's really the focus today. That's what the focus will be this week as we look at all 4 games together. And then, next week it'll be Jacksonville.
What would you say to a fan base, I guess, that sees, I know you want to focus on today, but sees the body of work and 2 losing seasons and a 1-3 start. And when you were hired, it came off a back-to-back 9-7 seasons. What would you say to those fans to kind of explain maybe how you got here or where you can go from here?
Well, I mean, I think obviously we talk about all the time where we want to go. We got to go out and we got to improve. We got to get better and we got to be more consistent. And, we're 4 games in and we got the bye week, and, really at this point, we got to just try to improve on what we're doing right now and figure out this team this year and the players that we have this year. That's what's important. And how do we win this year? That's really it.
One more, if I can. Have you met with ownership yet this week?
I meet with ownership every week, and I just usually keep that private. So,
thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Justin Rose?
Matt, just off that, I know you like to keep those private conversations, but we don't get a chance to talk to Sheila as much as we might like. Can you at least share some perspective of how she feels if you guys are headed where she wants to go, or any of those types of things to quell some of this, backlash that quite frankly, everybody's dealing with the Lions organization?
I mean, again, I think that, I think everybody wants the same thing. I think we're all trying to do the best we can to go out and win, and that's really what we're doing every single day. We're trying to get better and trying to improve. So, I mean, from that aspect of it, those conversations are kind of, in-house, and we talk about a lot of great things there, but nothing changes from what we're trying to do every day. That's all still the same.
Thanks.
Dave?
Matt, just back to the, a lot of work to do comment that Kyle asked about, and whether that was just you saying those words or not. People see 9-7 and maybe they don't quite understand a lot of work, right? They think work means step forward, not regression. Can you just reflect in how big of a rebuild did you think this was that you were inheriting, and why, if you thought that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, for me, just I'm focused on this team right now. I mean, I think that's the most important thing is just we're trying to get, this team moving in the right direction. It's about us going in as coaches and players, taking a look this week of what do we do to get better for the rest of our season. And, we've got, like I said, 4 games to take a look at, and, what do we improve on and where do we go from here?
Why do you think it's taken so long for that work to take hold this year over the past 2.5 years, however long it's been?
Again, I mean, I think every year is new in the NFL, and for us this year, we've just got to go out and play better and perform better and coach better on the field. Certainly, we've gotten through everything that 2020 had to offer, just like everybody else, and we just got to go play better on Sundays.
And then last thing for me, both Nick Williams and Carry-On left got a little banged up yesterday. Just either one of those serious injuries?
No updates right now on those, but I mean, I think just, hopefully just some normal game day stuff.
All right. Thank you.
Larry?
Matt, can you take us through the week a little bit about what you're able to do with your players, what you plan to do, and how much you lean on them to do what they have to do, in terms of protocol and all that, and what's usually a getaway week for those guys at some point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, during the bye week, from a football standpoint, we'll try to keep it as normal as we can. Today's Monday after the game, and then really we get some good work in here Tuesday and Wednesday from that perspective of just kind of taking a look at what we've done and some self-scout and maybe some different things that we want to implement here going forward. We'll try to get that done in the next couple of days. With the players, certainly, it's good for the players and the coaches when appropriate to get away a little bit and kind of, get their mind off football and rest when they can. And certainly that'll be important for the players too. Certainly we have, new protocols in place that is meant to keep everybody safe and healthy. And that's, that's important right now. We're still in that world and still in the middle of COVID. And I think that everyone understands that at the, some of the things that have happened recently, we gotta do a great job of taking this seriously and protecting everybody so that when we get back after the bye on Monday, that we're doing everything we can to go out and have a great week against Jacksonville. So.
Quick follow-up, can the glass be half full that the guys are sticking around, maybe getting more rest, self-scouting more? Is that at all a possibility, do you think?
Sure. I think our guys know that, we have a long football season in front of us here, and rest is critically important during the bye week, and, taking care of their bodies and doing everything right from COVID standpoint. That's all, it's all critically important.
All right, we'll go Justin, last question.
Hey, Matt, you mentioned the work to do being a phrase you use a lot, and I think us in these calls know that. Another phrase you use a lot is consistency. You've probably said it a dozen times during this particular call. I don't think anybody's questioning the work ethic of you or your staff. We know there's no corners being cut there. So if it's not hard work, what is the secret ingredients? What is the recipe for consistency, and what's missing from that recipe that you guys haven't been able to find it, whether this year or through the full tenure?
I think one of the interesting things about consistency is how do you be consistent when things change? And I think that's always an interesting kind of conversation. And a lot of it has to do with, just the preparation through the course of the week, being consistent in that way that when you get to the game and in the game situations that, that sense of just understanding where everybody's going to be and what the different adjustments are and maybe what the different play calls are, just kind of on the same page. And sometimes that takes a little bit of work. Sometimes that takes a little bit of time, to really kind of come together with that. But we also understand that there's not a lot of time to get that done, and we got to expedite that the best we can.
Corey was saying something last week, just talking about the moving pieces within defense and how, one guy gets used to a guy in another position. Suddenly he's in a different role that week. He looks to his side, and maybe there's like a mental trap there. You start thinking too much on the field. I'm just wondering, when you look at your defense and you're evaluating it, and you've got these moving pieces, this multiplicity, is having guys in so many different roles week to week made it hard to establish some of that consistency there?
I think definitely some of those moving pieces do, they do affect the communication from that standpoint. And certainly we're trying to put guys based on, availability or based on what we think is best for that week in the game plan in those positions. And that's why it's so important during the course of the week to get that practice time in, to get that communication in, and get that film study and the coaching and all the rest of it to the best of our ability. So when you get in the games, that it does feel seamless from that standpoint. So that's certainly part of, as the season goes, getting more familiar with everybody and comfortable in those situations with guys that maybe are new in those roles.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody. That concludes what we have for today.
Thanks, Matt.
Coach, thanks, Shaman.